What is social inequality? Social inequality is a lack of uneven access to the social amenities that are necessary for a standard of living. The exclusion of people from full and equal participation in societal event structures that are perceived to be important, valuable, economically, socially, culturally, personally worthwhile, and socially desirable. That capitalism led to the unbalanced economic development of some regions, while few countries in a particular region gained tremendous wealth and many were left in poverty. Little improvement in narrowing the gap between developed and developing countries has been recorded with globalization in place. Wealth inequality among individuals also exists in 2013. A small group of multi-billionaires totaling 85 has acquired wealth equivalent to the wealth acquired by the 3.5 billion or half of the world's poorest population. Not a few are actively engaged in global business or involved with MNC. Moreover, the MNCs have weakened labor unions due to the anti-labor policies and measures issued by the national governments. Supposedly, they reciprocate the contribution of MNCs to the national treasurers. You should be aware of the consequences of globalization in various aspects of life and different levels, whether personal, local, or international. View them from the various angles to be able to sift those that could be detrimental to you, your family, and to your country.
Types of social inequality. 1. Political inequality. 2. Income and wealth inequality. 3. Life inequality. 4. Inequality of treatment and responsibility. 5. Inequality of membership. Political inequality, the inequality in which there is no civic equality in front of the law. Political inequality exists when certain individuals or groups have more power over political decision-making and profit from unequal treatment. How may political inequality in the Philippines be addressed? It ensures political equality by offering equal voting rights to all citizens. Democracy fosters group activism by providing disadvantaged people with an equal opportunity to express their concerns. One of the foundations is the notion of political equality, in which everyone has the same chances and consequences when it comes to political decisions. Citizens and civil society activists advocate for a normative conception of democracy as a deputed political landscape in which policy decisions should be closely reflect citizen preferences. The problem of political inequality emerges because democracies are de jure but not de facto equal opportunity systems. So what exactly is de facto? De facto refers to a situation that is true in reality, but not officially sanctioned or not officially permitted. De jure, on the other hand, refers to a situation that is governed by the law. Income and wealth inequality. It is the outcome or result which is primarily in the earnings of individuals. Economic and social inequality is a serious concern in the Philippines, where over a quarter of the population of 92.3 million lives in poverty. The Philippines has one of the world's highest rates of income inequality, and unless something is done to close the gap, it will continue to increase. What are the consequences of our country's income inequality? Low average education levels, low technology uptake, poor public health, high crime rates, and a strong reliance on government subsidies are some of the other repercussions of extreme income disparity. All of these factors contribute to reduced labor productivity, slower long-term GDP growth, and high cost of government benefits. Due to uneven distribution of income, it affects the wealth equality of the people that causes to have wealth inequality. Life inequality. This refers to inequalities of opportunities if provided can improve the quality of life. The diversity in length of life or death age within human communities is referred as length of life inequality because not everyone dies at the same age. There is disparity in life expectancy among people. This variety is related to biological differences as well as intangible factors such as chance. It's partly due to cultural differences in resource allocation because having more resources promotes people to live longer lives. This is especially important for social scientists since it means that variations in life expectancy may be caused by social policy. Life expectancy varies dramatically across societies. Life expectancy is more evenly distributed in some countries than in others. Variation in life expectancy is strongly related to variation in lifelong inequality. Inequality of treatment and responsibility. Although this idea is less examined, it generates problems in agency and responsibility. Direct social inequality occurs when a group or groups is treated unfairly on purpose, and it can occur in both community and government settings. Direct inequality is when someone intentionally deprives others of resources, opportunities, or human rights. This perspective argues that the poor are too responsible for their predicament. They can't find work since they don't have required skills, motivation, or education. The second alternative is society. It suggests that poverty is caused by social forces. How can inequality in treatment be reduced? Create chances for young and vulnerable communities through empowering women. Improve economic inclusion, decent work and greater earnings, improve social services and ensure that people have access to social protection. Ensure safe migration and mobility while addressing irregular migration. Inequality of membership. This exists in the membership of faith, family, and nation. The membership's theory of inequality is based on three general propositions. 1. Membership in distinct groups has a significant impact on one's tastes, opinions, and opportunities. This group can be fixed like race or they can be established by economy or society like neighborhoods, schools, or businesses. 2. As a result of group-level influences, positive interaction effects develop between members of a specific group, resulting in shared outcomes among group members. 3. More societal stratification, based on income, race, education, or language causes group characteristics to diverge, resulting in higher cross-section inequality and lower social mobility. The role of influences on individual outcomes of a variety of groups whose memberships are determined endogenously in the economy, society is highlighted in this new perspective. This new perspective is known as the membership's theory of inequality when taken as a whole. Previous theories of the evolution of the income distribution emphasize individual traits with only a passing mention of group memberships. In contrast to the membership's theory of inequality, for example, the human capital model, which is still best exemplified in typically emphasize the link between individual productive ability and wages. Similarly, intergenerational mobility models such as those typically focused on within family effects of human capital investment, so that family dynasties' income histories evolve independently of one another. What do sociologists mean by the term social inequality? Social class, gender, ethnicity, and age are all sources of inequality in the UK. In other words, resources and opportunities are distributed unequally between individuals and groups based on their class, gender, ethnicity, and age. Sociology is a scientific study of society, encompassing social patterns, interaction, and culture. In the 1830s, Frenchman Auguste Comte suggested a synthetic science that would unite all knowledge concerning human activity. Sociologists research how factors such as educational achievement, money, poverty, occupations, and power contribute to social inequality among individuals and communities. Ideological supports are concepts and assumptions that underpin a society's socio-economic disparity. These are the sociologists who share their views about social inequality. According to sociologist Durkheim, it arises from the division of labor, but only if the latter occurs spontaneously. Social inequality obstructs such spontaneity by distorting prices, making them appear unjust and undermining equality of opportunity. According to Max Weber, a sociologist, social inequality is much more complicated than that. He defined power as the ability to persuade others to do what you want, and he claimed that power came from a variety of sources, including ownership of land and capital, social statuses, physical strength, and education. According to Karl Marx, a sociologist, inequality and poverty are necessary components of the capitalist mode of production. Capitalism produces inegalitarian social structures. Inequality is passed down from generation to generation through the environment of services and opportunities that each individual is exposed to. It can take many forms, including economic and wealth disparities, unequal access to education and cultural resources, and disparity treatment by the police and judicial systems. To name a few, social stratification goes hand in hand with social inequality. The existence of unequal opportunities and rewards for different social positions or statuses within a group or society is characterized as social inequality. It is composed of structured and recurring patterns of unequal distributions of goods, wealth, opportunities, rewards, and punishments. For instance, racism is defined as a phenomena in which access to rights and resources in inequality divided across racial lines. People of color in the United States are frequently subjected to racism, which benefits white people by conferring white privilege, which grants them better access to rights and resources than other Americans. There are two main ways to measure social inequality. 1. Inequality of condition. 2. Inequality of opportunities. Inequality of conditions refers to the unequal distribution of wealth, income, and material commodities. The homeless and those who live in housing complexes, for example, are at the bottom of the social ladder, while those who live in multi-million-dollar mansions are at the top. Inequality of opportunities refers to an equal distribution of life chances among individuals. This is reflected in indicators such as educational level, health status, and criminal justice system treatment. For example, studies have shown that college and university professors are more likely to ignore emails from women and people of color than they are to ignore emails from white men, which favors white men's educational outcomes by channeling disproportionate amount of mentoring and educational resources to them. Within the field of sociology, there are two basic perspectives on social inequality. The functionalist theory aligns with one approach, while conflict theory aligns with the other. According to functionalist theories, inequality is both inevitable and desirable, and it serves an important function in society. Important positions in society necessitate more training and as a result should be rewarded more. According to this viewpoint, social inequality and social stratification lead to meritocracy based on ability. Conflict theories, on the other hand, see inequality as the result of powerful groups dominating weaker groups. They believe that social inequality prevents and impedes societal progress by allowing those in power to oppress the powerless in order to maintain the status quo. This work of dominance is accomplished in today's world primarily through the power of ideology, our thoughts, values, beliefs, worldviews, norms, and expectations, a process known as cultural hegemony.
How is society stratified by social class? Stratification refers to the way society is structured. Society is made up of a set of layers that are unequally ranked one above the other. Each layer is smaller but more powerful than the one below it. The higher the group of the pyramid, the more money, status, and power they have. Society is stratified into social class based on individuals, socioeconomic status, gender, and race. Stratification results in inequality when resources, opportunities, and privilege are distributed based on individuals' position in the social hierarchy. Sinasabi dito na ang paraan ng pagkakasunod-sunod para sa isang maayos na lipunan, na kaya mayroon tayong upper, middle, lower, and underclass. Ito ay ang paraan para masaayos mula pinakamataas papunta sa pinakamababa. Dahil ang bawat layer na ito ay mayroong iba't ibang katangian. Kaya kung sino ang nasa upper class, sila yung may mga opportunity na magkaroon ng magandang katayuan at magkaroon ng power balang araw.
How is society stratified by gender?
Feminists highlight that although there is now far less stratification by gender, gender inequality does still exist. For example,
Women have to perform triple shift in the home, like cleaning, washing clothes, and cooking. Second is, there are still sex discrimination in the work. Like when you were a girl, you are not able to work as lady guard in some convenience store. Lastly, women experience more stereotyping and discrimination more than men.
How is society stratified by age? Child labor is now illegal in Britain. It was a normal among working class families in the 19th century and exists in some parts of the world today. The status of older people can also vary between cultures. In some cultures, getting old is seen as something to be avoided. In other cultures, other people are seen as having a high status in society, as their experience is valued and appreciated. The term ageism describes a situation where someone is treated differently because of their age. In Britain, there are now regulations against age discrimination in employment and training. Age stratification exists because processes in society ensure that people of different ages differ in their access to society, rewards, power, and privilege. In sociology, age stratification refers to the hierarchical ranking of people into age groups within a society.
It is stratified ethnicity. Over the last 40 years, reform and policies have addressed inequality based on ethnicity in areas such as education, employment, and criminal justice. Employers have equal opportunity policies to support equality and diversity. As a result of such changes, sociologists believe that ethical inequality is less significant now. Although others argue that there has been a little changes in fields of employment, education, and criminal justice. Unemployment rates in England and Wales are higher among people of Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Black Caribbean heritage than among white British or white Irish people.